Hello, welcome back. And today's our BBB 26 Gossip Report Week 2. Yes, gossip, drama, awkward moments, side eyes. And before you think, my English is not good enough for this, let me tell you something. You don't need to understand every word to understand the story. Because when you watch reality shows, you're not listening word by word. You're following intent, you're following logic. So today, that's exactly what we're going to do. Focus on meaning, focus on logic. Control is better than complexity. Short answers are welcome, and honestly, they're better sometimes. Now, why gossip, Brenda? Because if you watch BBB 26, or even if you just follow it on social media, you already know who's fighting, who's repeating the same mistakes, who kissed who is losing the public, and who is clearly playing the game. So, when we talk about BBB 26 in English, something interesting happens. You're not trying to understand the situation, you already understand it. Your brain goes, oh, I know this history, and that's powerful because now your brain has a space. Instead of spending energy on what is happening, it can focus on how do I say this in English. Let's start gossiping. Okay. Are you ready? Let's go. Week 2 begins with a big decision from the public. Aline was eliminated on January 20th. People didn't only talk about strategy, they talked about identity. And this is where the public split about Aline. Some people started saying that this idea of spiritual growth was becoming a stage for the ego, especially when someone couldn't handle different opinions. Others saw it differently and they said, we are not finished people, right? Humans are always under construction, and sometimes showing growth doesn't mean being perfect, it means being exposed. For them, those moments don't cancel the journey, they are part of it. Now, Sarah. Sarah came in with a strong reputation, a strategic, experienced, a veteran. That reputation is a blessing and a curse. Because if you are known as strategic, then every move looks suspicious. And the biggest storyline around Sarah right now is her tense relationship with Ana Paula Renu. It feels like a rivalry that keeps returning, and viewers are already saying this could define Sarah's image. During the formation of the second Paredão, Sarah used a power from a dynamic to veto Ana Paula's vote. That created an argument live, and Ana Paula pushed back hard and basically said, those are voices in your head. After that, the tension escalated. Sarah later said she believes Ana Paula influences people in the wrong direction, that she leads others into mistakes, not always on purpose, but through the way she talks. So this wasn't just a disagreement anymore, it became a personal clash. And not just inside the house, but outside too. Because now the social media teams started reacting as well. Accusations, public posts, and even lawyer talk. That's BBB today. The house is one battlefield, and the internet is the second battlefield. Babu won the second leadership and got emotional. As leader, Babu nominated Mateus directly, saying it was strategic based on vote trends in the House. And the second Paredão formed like this: Mateus, indicated by Babu, Leandro, by the surprise box dynamic, e Brígido, most voted by the House. So, on paper, it looked like a normal paredão, but emotionally, this week didn't turn around the vote. It turned around one name, Mateus. Now, this is where the gossip gets heavier. Mateus became the most talked about person of the week, not because of strategy. There were several moments, but one stood out. He used expressions that many people understood as racist, suggesting a kind of racial hierarchy. Inside the house, Ana Paula reacted immediately. She took a clear anti racist position, and at that point, the conversation changed. So let's pause the gossip because this part isn't about team this or team that. Being anti racist is not drama, it's civic responsibility. When racism appears, silence protects the system. And when people stay quiet because it feels delicate, the harm keeps going. You do need to be clear. That's not okay. That's harmful. We don't normalize this. That's what grown up citizenship looks like. And this is exactly why this episode works. This is not random gossip. This is familiar content meeting new languages. And familiar content makes learning faster. And think about it. Gossiping is perfect for speaking practice. It has opinion, it has conflict, it has cause and consequence. Nobody gossips in long, perfect sentences. People say things like, I don't buy that story. That didn't sit right with me. After that, people turned on him. Simple, natural, real. That's exactly the English you want, right? So today, we're not here to study English rules. We're here to use English, to talk about drama, to talk about mistakes, to talk about patterns, to talk about public perception. Because if you already gossip in Portuguese, you already have the skill. We're just changing the language. Same logic, same opinion, same tea, different words. Now, pause for a second, not the audio, just your head. Reset, take a deep breath. Today, we'll practice differently. I'm going to say a situation. Your job is not to explain everything, your job is to react. All right? Situation number one. Listen. Mateus says people are too sensitive nowadays. Now, pause and share your opinion with me. Choose one sentence, short and honest. If you feel lost how to say it, use one of these frames. I disagree because that makes me uncomfortable because I see the point. But my answer. Nowadays, people are more aware that some things aren't jokes and shouldn't simply be repeated. Words have consequences, and we're grown enough to be responsible for them. Situation number two. Listen. Mateus says Ana Paula is Milena's boss, using the word patroa. And many people understand this as creating a racial hierarchy inside the house. Now, pause. Your job is not to explain the whole context, your job is to react. My answer. That crossed a line. And we need to say that clearly. But we also need to be careful with how we judge and how hard. Mateus is a black man, and historically, black men are judged more harshly, faster, and with less room for learning. That doesn't make the comment okay, it doesn't excuse it, but it does change how we think about punishment. We live in a country where men like Prior, accused and convicted of extremely serious crimes, are still celebrated. People sing songs with his name. People defend him on social media. People minimize what he did, what they did. So, yes, this comment needs to be called out, But we also need to ask ourselves a harder question. Why are some people destroyed immediately while others are protected? This is not about canceling someone. It's about understanding patterns. And the comment shows a deeply rooted belief, and beliefs like that need to be confronted openly. A confrontation doesn't mean public execution. If we only scream, nothing changes. If we talk clearly with responsibility, patterns can actually shift. And that's not softness. That's what being mature looks like. Now, let's get back to the gossip. Maxiani tells Sarah one version of the story. Listen. Later, she tells a different version to other people in the house. And when people compare the clips on social media, the details don't fully match. Your job is not to prove anything. That was situation three. Your job is to react. If you feel lost with this one, borrow one of these frames. That feels inconsistent because. That makes me doubt the story because. I don't think she meant to lie, but. Now, my answer. That feels inconsistent because the details change depending on who she's talking to. Now, Brenda, how can I say this in a softer but still honest way? Well, you can say like this. I don't think she meant to lie, but changing the story hurts trust. Oh, if I want to say in a very gossip real speech, well, once the story changes, people stop believing you. And that's our BBB 26 week 2. And if right now you felt that little, okay, I want more. Good. You're feeling good, right? That's great because every Tuesday, this is exactly what we do, our BBB English Gossip Report. And for everyone who ever said BBB is useless, not anymore. If you already watched the show, keep watching. But now, come here and train your English with gossip you already understand. Because learning sticks when the story is familiar. And for those of you who don't watch the show, but ended up knowing about because of Instagram and social media, this is where the comments get unpacked, where the internet reacts, where the subtext shows up. We bring the most talked about moments from the web, and we do one more thing, the most important one. We turn gossip into speaking practice. Today, you trained real B1, B2 English. You reacted instead of explaining. You gave opinions, not speeches. You used short, natural statements. You talked about perception, conflict, and consequences. That's real English. You're doing it. Trust the process. I hope to see you here again. Until next time, one story at a time. Bye bye.